Welcome to the latest video in the series relating to the MBodds website. Unlike previous videos, this one won't be a how-to relating to a specific page. Instead, I'll speak to a key component of match betting, and that's bonus bet conversion. In particular, I'm going to look at a few online calculators and tell you what I saw as the shortfalls in them and how I built to improve on these in the MBodds website. Okay, so let's just start. We'll go do a search. There's 100 calculators on Google, so bonus bet Bonus bet calculator. Okay, well, let's go to the top one because Google knows best. Right, let's see how this is. I'll just make it a bit smaller. Right, this is pretty simple. Fine. Now, bonus bet. Enter your bonus bet. Event A odds. Enter team A odds. Event B odds. Team B odds. Why is the placeholder the same as the title? We already know what we're supposed to put in here, so why not put some numbers in here perhaps? That's my first suggestion. Alright, so where is the bonus bet? Is that event A or B? Now, it doesn't tell me. I'm going to assume it's A, but again, I'm not really sure. Which odds to put in? Now, this is a .com, so it could be anywhere global, so I assume I can enter American odds. I mean, there's no reason why not. So let's try something. Let's put 25 in. I'm pretty sure that that's an amount. American odds are 400, and we're going to bet minus 350. Okay, nothing telling me I'm wrong. Let's calculate. So my 25 bet can turn into 221. $2,216. Something looks wrong there. So I'm going to assume these are decimal odds. But I wasn't told that. Maybe some pretty poor error checking here. So, bit of a fail there. Alright, let's make the assumption that this indeed. There we go. More realistic, okay? So $5 bonus, $1.22 say for event B odds, I can get $18. Now, this is telling me I can make $18 from a $25 bonus bet. We tend to think of bonuses as conversion percentages, not dollar returns, so I have to get a calculator to work out whether this calculator is telling me a good thing. That's probably a fail. I would rather see that as a percentage. Also, why do I have to click calculate? This is 2005, right? Like, this is really easy to have this as a live calc. As I change this, that should automatically recalc. I've actually got a very big issue here. Right now, I've changed that number and nothing here's changed. I can be distracted, come back, forget where I was and say, oh, okay, $5, $1.23, I can make a profit here of $18. That's not the case. What if that was 110? There's nothing telling me that I've gone wrong here, okay? So, good practice is for any time an assumption is changed, the data should be invalidated, whether that's crossed out, whether it's deleted, whether it's set to 0, or ideally live recalc. Okay. Now we often use Betfair for bonus conversions. There's no option here to put a Betfair commission or a Betfair set of odds in here. I have to go find another one. I assume it's down here. There's a whole lot of other ones, so that might be fine, but it would be nice to have a simple option to have on here. Also, a lot of bonus conversion, and probably the best on average, is using horses. This is just a simple Dutching calculator. I assume again there's another calculator in here somewhere. Yeah, the lay bet calculator, it's probably there. I can tell you that's actually got a lot of the similar problems here that this one has. So combining those two would make things a little bit better in my opinion. Okay, so bit of a fail there. Now let's go back and we'll see what else we've got. Wager wise, now that's one of the better ones as well. Bonus bet calculator. Okay, here we go. So some improvements here. I'm being told the decimal odds. That's a good thing. And I'm also being told, actually I'll make this smaller again, sorry, to zoom out a bit to make it easier. Decimal odds, good placeholders. Hedge odds 1, hedge odds 2 optional. Okay, add some complication and the bonus amount. Alright, well, my bonus odds are a bit less than 2.5, so let's click the down arrow. Okay, so straight away I'm in negative odds, but you told me it was decimal. So, data validation is another issue here. Okay, odds are jumping up in whole units. That's not great. What if we want to do 650? Or say we'll go 5. We'll repeat the one we did last time, 22. Again, I've got to put an amount in, 25. Yet again, I've got to click a calculate button. Why is that not happening automatically? Okay, all good there. Same good spelling of what the payouts are, what your retention is. There's actually a percentage. I like that. Again, I've got an issue. I click this, nothing's validated, and I can go negative. Okay, that's probably not all that sensible either. So a few more fails here. Wrong information is just one of my key problems. Okay, one other challenge here. Look at this. There's a lot of real estate on this screen. Now, what do you see when you go to a sports betting website? You see data, you see numbers, you see everything getting thrown at you. One thing that bettors aren't scared of, and Australia should be further ahead of the maths tables than we are, is numbers. Okay? No one who really gets into this is going to be scared of numbers. So why would you have such little detail? You can have all sorts of information over here. Plenty more there. Again, you have to go to a different screen to do a lay bet. This hedge 3 optional, I think that's for when you're using soccer. So let's say we got 120 here and we got 6 there. Again, I've got to recalculate and I've got my calculation coming through. Not the end of the world, but it's probably not ideal. Okay. So, what do we do in the MBodds website? Okay, let's go back to here. If we go into our calculators, there's a conversion ladder. All right, straight away we have what I call time to fun. Okay, straight away you see outcomes. You have a predefined, a pre-stated odds and a pre-stated bet amount, and you see conversion percentages already up there. So someone coming to this doesn't have to go input odds, input bet size to actually get a conversion number. They can see what they're going to be working with on the screen. So that was my preference to start with. Straight away, my bet here, it tells me what the types. I've actually got, I won't go into these, but it's a really quick way to get to some other types. I'm told the decimal odds, the bonus bet size. I'm starting already at a number that's sensible for a bonus bet conversion. You need to be looking up there. Why not start somewhere near there? Okay, let's do the same calc as before, 25 against $5. Here we go, straight away, same numbers are there. Look, all live recalcs. Okay, that's one key here. Every time I click this button, everything recalcs. There's no risk of getting incorrect information there. Okay, you can go up and down. Here's a custom screen. So, say these numbers aren't the ones you're looking at for some reason. There's a whole ladder there, it should be used. This is giving you all the conversion percentages. What happens when I click down? It starts at a proper number. Okay, there's no negatives here. You can't click this button and get into the negative. It doesn't work. You can go up, you can go down, but not down to the negatives. Okay, so another common sense data validation point. Also, hey look, I'm using Betfair. 2 clicks, I've got a recalculated Betfair. Again, live recalc. It doesn't take much to get this sort of simple user interface working well. And here's the other part. I've got a lay ladder. It's already there, okay? It's in the same screen. Now, how does this help as a bettor? Let's say I'll choose a game. Okay, so I found this one earlier. So you've got the Kings versus the Nuggets. So 5-9. So this is the Kings. They're a bit wider than the Nuggets. Let's say you had a bonus bet at $5.50. Okay, so that's where you can put it in. What your choice is do I want to lay that at $5.90 or do the Dutch at $1.20? They're actually going to give you slightly different outcomes, and they're actually worth checking. So what we want to do is $1.20. One thing you should do here, if you forget which one you're looking at, click it. So $1.20, and I said $5.90. Here's the difference here. So if I back using a Dutch at Betfair at 6% commission, it's a 71.2% turnover. If I lay at $5.90, it's a 72.4% turnover. That's a massive difference. Okay, so if you didn't know which to get on a, say something like, quite often people are dealing $50 units. Again, that $5.90 versus that $1.20. So $1.20 here, $5.90 here. I've got over 1% difference. Now that is a 5-second check, and I'm going to improve my bonus conversion by a bit over 1%. So you can do that, 12 times in a minute? That works out. It's only 5 seconds. So you're making 50 cents every couple of seconds. The math doesn't work. You're earning the equivalent of like $250 an hour. So that's a really simple check. It's on the screen. You imagine trying to do this ladder in one of those other converters, yet alone doing the check between the Dutch and the lay. Okay, very simple setup to make a fairly large difference. Okay, so as I said, I built this to address some of my pet peeves. One of the keys, I think, is that I'm the person who uses the bet, does the betting, uses the tool, and does the coding. That makes actually me the end user, the creator, and the facilitator of all that. You get the other teams, I suspect they outsource that website development, and maybe they're not doing as much betting themselves as well. That means you get a disconnect between what actually pain points there are when you're doing this yourself. So anyway, that's my little rant. That's why I think this tool is quite useful. Again, MBodds.com, go to the calculator, there's a conversion ladder. If you want to know how to use some of these other tools, there's some YouTube links. These aren't long videos, they're very quick actually. And again, you can't break this thing. So feel free to play with it, and best of luck. Cheers.